Hello. Welcome to the Encyclopedia Formula 1 channel. Today we're going to talk about the 1963 season, which was the 14th held by the FIA. The season had 10 races on the calendar, starting on May 26, 1963 in Monaco and ending on December 28, 1963 in South Africa. Stay tuned to see how the races of the season went, the winners, pole positions, and owners of the best laps of each race. Alright, get ready to discover how the 10 races of the 1963 season went. But first, if you like Formula 1, consider subscribing to the channel for more information and news. Now let's see how the races of this season went. Race 1, the exciting race of the Monaco Grand Prix, which took place on May 26, 1963, at the iconic Monaco circuit. The race was won by Graham Hill, a talented driver from the BRM team, who completed 100 laps in a time of 2 hours, 41 minutes, 49.700 seconds. Highlight for the fastest lap of the race, made by John Surtees, from the Ferrari team, who set the impressive time of 1 minute, 34.500 seconds, demonstrating the exceptional skill of this driver. It's worth remembering that pole position was conquered by Jim Clark, from the Lotus Climax team, who achieved the impressive time of 1 minute, 34.300 seconds during the qualifications for the race, which allowed him to start in the position of honor on the starting grid. Race 2. It is with great enthusiasm that I report on the race of the 1963 Belgian Grand Prix, which took place at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit on June 9. The race was won by the talented driver Jim Clark, from the Lotus Climax team, who completed 32 laps in a time of 2 hours, 27 minutes, 47.600 seconds. It's worth highlighting that Jim Clark himself also set the fastest lap of the race, with the impressive time of 3 minutes, 58.100 seconds. His exceptional skill and mastery of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit allowed him to set this impressive mark. However, pole position was conquered by Graham Hill, from the BRM team, who achieved the time of 3 minutes, 54.100 seconds during the qualifications for the race. This allowed him to start in the position of honor on the starting grid and demonstrated Hill's skill and determination as a driver. Race 3. The race of the 1963 Dutch Grand Prix, which took place at the Circuit Park Zandvoort on June 23. The race was won by the legendary driver Jim Clark, from the Lotus Climax team, who completed 80 laps in a time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, 13.700 seconds. It's worth highlighting that Clark also set the fastest lap of the race, with the impressive time of 1 minute, 33.700 seconds. His exceptional skill and mastery of the Zandvoort circuit allowed him to set this impressive mark. In addition, Clark also achieved pole position, with a surprising time of 1 minute, 31.600 seconds during the qualifications for the race. This demonstrated Clark's skill and determination as a driver, as well as his ability to dominate the tracks. Race 4. On June 30, 1963, the French Grand Prix took place at Circuit de Reims, with Jim Clark of the Lotus Climax team taking the victory. The driver completed 53 laps, with a total duration of 2 hours, 10 minutes, 54.3 seconds. It was an exciting race, with many overtakes and fierce battles for the podium. During the race, Jim Clark from Lotus Climax set the fastest lap time, with a time of 2 minutes, 21.6 seconds, showcasing his skill and expertise on the track. This record left his opponents behind and solidified his lead in the race. Jim Clark also secured pole position, with a time of 2 minutes, 20.2 seconds, giving him an advantage in the race which he used to maintain his lead. Race 5. The race took place on July 20, 1963, with Jim Clark of the Lotus Climax team taking the victory with 82 laps completed, in a total duration of 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 9.6 seconds. Clark maintained his position in the lead for most of the race, but the fastest lap was set by John Surtees of Ferrari, with an impressive time of 1 minute, 36.0 seconds. Jim Clark also secured pole position, setting an excellent qualifying time of 1 minute, 34.4 seconds, putting him in the ideal position to win the race. Clark proved unbeatable and maintained a comfortable lead over his opponents until the end of the race. If you are enjoying this content, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to continue receiving Formula 1 information. Race 6. In the German Grand Prix at Nürburgring on August 4, 1963, the Ferrari team, represented by John Surtees, emerged victorious after 15 laps. The race duration was 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 6.8 seconds. The fastest lap was set by John Surtees, who completed it in an impressive 8 minutes, 47.0 seconds. At the start, pole position was taken by Jim Clark of the Lotus Climax team, with a time of 8 minutes, 45.8 seconds. John Surtees' victory was quite surprising, as he had to overcome strong opponents to get ahead. During the race, Surtees maintained a steady pace, avoiding errors and overtaking his competitors when he had the opportunity. In the end, the strategy adopted by Surtees and his team was decisive for the victory. Surtees' fastest lap in the race was spectacular, with the driver setting an incredible pace and using all his skill to complete it in just 8 minutes and 47 seconds. This lap demonstrated all of Surtees' technical quality and skill, as he was able to take advantage of every turn and straight on the Nürburgring circuit. Race 7. The Italy race at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, which took place on September 8, 1963. In this thrilling competition, Jim Clark from the Lotus Climax team became the winner after completing an incredible 86 laps in a total time of 2 hours, 24 minutes, 19.600 seconds. His determination and skill were essential to achieving victory. Also noteworthy is the fastest lap of the race, which was achieved by Jim Clark. With an impressive time of 1 minute, 38.900 seconds, he demonstrated his mastery of the curves and straights of the Monza circuit, leaving his competitors behind. In the qualification for the race, the pole position was won by John Surtees of the Ferrari team, with a time of 1 minute, 37.300 seconds. This privileged position on the starting grid demonstrated the competitiveness of the Italian team and Surtees' ability as a driver. Race 8. The Formula 1 race held at the Watkins Glen International Circuit in the United States on October 6, 1963, was won by driver Graham Hill from the BRM team. The competition featured 110 laps and lasted 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 22.1 seconds. Hill crossed the finish line in first place with an excellent performance throughout the race. The fastest lap of the race was set by driver Jim Clark of the Lotus Climax team with a time of 1 minute, 14.500 seconds. The pole position, which is the most advantageous starting position, was won by Graham Hill with a time of 1 minute, 13.400 seconds. Hill showed his skill on the track from the beginning of the race and was able to maintain his leadership position until the end. Race 9. The Formula 1 race held at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City on October 27, 1963, was one of the most exciting and historic of the season. With a total duration of 2 hours, 9 minutes, 52.100 seconds, the race featured some of the best drivers of the time, who faced each other in a fierce and thrilling competition. At the end of 65 laps on the Mexican circuit, Scottish driver Jim Clark of the Lotus Climax team emerged as the great winner of the race, achieving victory after an impeccable performance on the track. With a consistent and highly strategic performance, Clark earned the respect of his opponents and the hearts of Formula 1 fans around the world. The fastest lap of the race was also set by Jim Clark, who recorded a time of 1 minute, 58.100 seconds, leaving his competitors behind and consolidating his dominance on the track. With exceptional driving skills and unwavering determination, Clark once again demonstrated why he is considered one of the greatest drivers of all time. The pole position, on the other hand, was also won by Jim Clark, who achieved an impressive time of 1 minute, 58.800 seconds, surpassing his opponents and securing a privileged position on the starting grid. With a unique combination of talent, technique, and strategy, Clark proved to be a complete and unparalleled driver, leaving an unforgettable legacy in the history of Formula 1. Race 10. The Formula 1 race held at Prince George Autodrome in the city of East London, South Africa on December 28, 1963 was an exciting and historic event for fans of the sport. With a total of 85 laps on the South African circuit, the race lasted 2 hours, 10 minutes, 36.900 seconds and featured some of the best drivers of the time. The great winner of the race was Scottish driver Jim Clark of the Lotus Climax team, who dominated the competition from start to finish and crossed the finish line with a significant advantage over his opponents. With an exceptionally consistent and strategic performance, Clark once again showed his mastery on the track and earned the respect of everyone present. The fastest lap of the race, however, was set by American driver Dan Gurney of the Brabham Climax team, who recorded an impressive time of 1 minute, 29.100 seconds. With exceptional driving skill and unwavering determination, Gurney made history by breaking the record for the fastest lap on the South African circuit. The pole position, on the other hand, was won by Jim Clark, who recorded an impressive time of 1 minute, 28.900 seconds, surpassing his opponents and securing a privileged position on the starting grid. With a unique combination of talent, technique and strategy, Clark once again proved to be one of the greatest drivers in Formula 1 history, leaving an unforgettable legacy for fans of the sport. As a result, the 1963 season ended, with British driver Jim Clark of BRM becoming the runner-up with 29 points in the championship, and Scottish driver Jim Clark of the Lotus Climax team becoming the season champion with 54 points, winning his first world title. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to the channel to receive more information about Formula 1. Please leave a like to support our work and, please, leave a comment about what you thought of this content so that we can improve our channel even more. Thank you and until next time.